Hey guys, welcome back to Old School Arctic Cats. I'm Rocky, and today we're up in the mountains and we're going to test these 600 triples just like it's 1997. To introduce our challengers, we got the 1997 Powder Extreme 136 track. This snowmobile's completely stock, should run pretty good. It's got the 1.6 tall lug. Up next, we got the 1996 Ski-Doo Formula 3 600 triple. We just picked this up. You guys can see in our last video, it wasn't running very good, kind of idling high. I ended up taking apart the carburetors, taking apart the intake on the carburetors, changed those out. Seems to be running pretty good. Then, last but not least, we got the mighty 1995 XLT 600 triple. This snowmobile we picked up a couple weeks ago. This one is also got the 136 track, 2-inch lug, but this one has PSI triple pipe. So it'll be interesting to see how these triples compare to each other. So behind me, we have a pretty good hill. We're going to be able to test each one of these snowmobiles. It's only going to be me riding them, but I want to ride the Powder Extreme, then the XLT, then the Formula 3, kind of in the same tracks or same terrain. I want to see how the Arctic Cat handles versus the XLT handles versus the Formula 3, compare their power, compare their traction, compare their handling, their brakes when I come down the hill. I just want to have a really fun test on my own to see what these sleds are like and what they compare to. I think this hill is going to be pretty challenging. This is spring snow, so it should make it up fine, but it should be a lot of fun. We'll see how this goes. I'm super pumped and super excited. Holy cow, you guys, that is awesome. The spring snow is kind of in our benefit. It's making it up it pretty easy, but there's a few little trenches and tracks and jumps and stuff. It's pretty fun. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see what that Polaris feels like and that Ski-Doo. I've ridden Arctic Cats before. I kind of expected what this was going to handle like, but those other two, it's going to be interesting. We'll see see how they handle. Holy cow, you guys. This XLT is no joke. It really feels, gosh, pretty nimble. It feels light on its front end. When it's in the power and it's down at the bottom, it really has a lot of grunt. One thing I noticed right off the bat is I'm just pumping this brake, trying to get this thing to stop. I mean, obviously this sled's quite a bit older, and who knows if it needs the brake bled a little bit, but that was the first thing I noticed. Really good power to weight ratio with this XLT. Definitely sounds the best too. As far as handling and stuff, I felt like I could carve maybe just a little bit better with that Arctic Cat. Felt like it held its edge a little bit nicer. Maybe it was the skis on that Arctic Cat, but I felt like I could carve just a little bit cleaner. I like the Arctic Cat's handlebars just maybe a little bit better. It has a little bit more grippy hand grips. Let's go grab that Ski-Doo and see what it can do. Wow, that was awesome. I haven't rode this sled very much since we just bought it. I've never ridden a Ski-Doo like this in my life. I've ridden an Indy before. I've ridden obviously my Arctic Cat, but this is the first. First thing I really like about this sled, the handlebars. I think these handlebars are better than those other two. They feel wider, they almost feel like dirt bike-ish, you know, a little better stance. Next thing I really like about this one's the brake. I've noticed when I'm starting to come down a little bit, there's no fading, there's no nothing. It seems like a really good brake. One thing I felt like when I was hitting the jump or hitting some of these bumps, it kind of was hitting pretty hard, harder than the other two, I would say. It felt a little nose heavy, but this track is definitely better too. I would say whatever, I think this is a stock track for this sled, 136 2-inch, I think, but this thing hooks up in this spring snow really good. The throttle response is really healthy on this snowmobile too. I feel like the clutching on it's really good. I'm blown away. I mean, this thing hasn't ran in 4 years. If you guys can watch that other video of us picking this thing up, you'll see what we had to deal with. The carburetors, it was idling extremely high when I first started it. We got the carburetors off. We looked at the intake boots and they were all weather rotted and cracked. My neighbor has a lot of Ski-Doos like this. He deals with a lot of Mach 1s and stuff. He luckily had the intake boots for this snowmobile. Grabbed them, I cleaned them all up. Didn't have any cracks in them. Put everything back together. It seemed to fix the air leak or the air that it was sucking, the extra air. Really impressed. I am seriously impressed. It's a beautiful machine. I cannot believe how awesome this purple looks. The purple and the yellow just looks so 90s. Really impressed with Ski-Doo. That was awesome. In the 90s, I mean, snowmobiling was a lot different than it is today. Snowmobiling was such a challenge to be able to go. I mean, if you had a foot of powder, I mean, these sleds would struggle trying to go up what would be pretty insignificant hill today. There was a lot of, you know, the classic knee on the seat, a lot of really having to throw your weight around to get these things to kind of go on edge. It was just a lot more challenging. There was a lot more, I don't know, excitement and stuff over a smaller type of hill and a smaller jump and things like that. But it evolved into what it is today. But these snowmobiles, I mean, that hill that we just climbed, foot of powder on that thing, all three of these sleds would have really had a hard time climbing that. Yeah, but the 90s, man, to me, that's the fun of the challenge. First of all, they're not a huge expensive machine that you're worried about wrecking, or if you have some mechanical breakdown, you're not, you know, totally out for the season. There's a lot of enjoyment with these 90s sleds. Why I love them so much. Team Arctic, baby. That sled, man, it just sucked you right into that stuff. Holy cow, look at it from this angle. Yep. That wasn't a lot of room to climb through that. I'd be lying if I wasn't a little nervous myself. This is 90s snowmobiling, guys. Getting stuck. Never knowing really if you're gonna make it out. It's always happening when it's, you know, close to nighttime. I think our best chance here is yanking it out of the tree, pulling it backwards, getting the front end pointing downhill, and I guess Quinn might just have to stay on the bunny hill. All right, we got the sled out, wedged on that tree. The ski was sticking vertical in the snow. We'll get him flipped around and hopefully another shot at it. Wow, you guys, that was super awesome. Did some hill climbing, little jumping. Tried to ride these 90s triples through the trees. Couldn't have asked any better experience than that. I'm really impressed with this Ski-Doo and XLT, though. I'll tell you guys, this Formula 3 has really good power. It's got really good clutching. I think the power valves really wake this snowmobile up. The XLT did great. I love the sound of that XLT. The triple pipes on that one really make that thing wake up too. Powder Extreme, you know, obviously that's a really special sled for me, but to be able to experience these other two, you know, that's awesome. Let me know in the comments, you guys. I'm wondering what Yamaha had in 95, 96, 97, 98-ish. What did they have that was comparable to these sleds? What did they bring out to the shootout? So maybe I can kind of keep an eye out. And is it a 600 triple? Is it a 600 twin they had? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Guys, I want to introduce my good friend, Rob. This guy on a dirt bike, whoo, dangerous. He's a god on a dirt bike.